We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 154. Today we're going to talk about my pick of the week, my NFL picks this week, my weekend poker, the crazy political world, and whatever else you want to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. Yo, up to the Mouthpiece. How you doing? Well, pick of the week went down. We're 1-2, but we're 2-1 on our second best pick and 2-1 on our third best pick. So that puts us, 6-4. I guess it's not horrible, but we've got to get the pick of the week right. Been working on it the last 2 days, and I really feel good about all my picks this week. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about poker. So when I was with you guys last week, I was 23,000 winner for the week with 2 days to go. And then disaster hit. And I ended up playing all night Saturday night till like 6 a.m. The game went round the clock. Then I woke up around 11 a.m. for football. And I played all night, or all day and all night again. When I came back on Sunday, I lost 29,000 Saturday night. And when I came back Sunday, I was winning 7,000 back, so I was down like 22, which put me up like 1,200 for the week. And then a guy who was stuck a absurd amount in the game and was playing not very well in a bomb pot. Flop came ace 8-7 with 2 diamonds, and I flopped a set of sevens. And I bet $9.99. I got 4 callers. And then the other guy check raises 5,900. And I just figured with 4 callers, somebody's got an ace, somebody's got flush draws, and he's so tilted. So I ripped 40,000 and he had 3 eights. And the next thing you know, I was down like 64,000, 62,000. And then the next thing you know, I'm down 70. Which is probably the most I've ever been stuck in the game. And I spent 13 hours grinding all the way back to a $27,000 loss, and that made me a $3,400 loser for the week. So a week that started off so promising, where we were up as much as 50 and down as much as 50, ended up losing 3,400. So here we are a week later, and I am up once again 23,000 for the week on Friday, and with 2 days to go. So overall, I think I've played really well this week. The mistakes are being cut down a lot more, but I haven't quite put in as many hours this week as I did last week. Last week was probably the most hours. I played 1,050 hands, so in one session. Well, in 2 broken sessions. So, I'm back working hard and trying to just do well, and it's a grind, man. It's a grind. No real hands to really talk about that I could really get into with you. I won one big pot with Ace King versus King 10 on a King High board. And I really haven't put in that many hours this week. Probably put in... it's been tough to get in the game because I'm always have to be picked up right away. So maybe I put in about 8 hours this week. So, but I plan to play as much as I can tonight. And then tomorrow, the big big thing tomorrow, charity for St. Jude's. That's Matt Stout's big charity event that Daniel Negreanu founded with, and then Matt Stout is running it now. So anybody in Las Vegas for charity poker and dinner, go to the St. Jude's website, or you can follow Matt Stout at Matt Stout, and he will. I'm sure he has up there how you can get a ticket to the poker tournament dinner tomorrow night. So I'll be there tomorrow night, so I won't be able to be playing. Let's see what else. So last Friday night, I went out to the comedy club, had a really fun time, and and then it was a rough weekend. We're completely out of survivors. I took Cincinnati. They scored 33 and never had a chance. I should have took the Jets last week. Really sucks to be out of survivor, but one of our pools are starting a second another survivor pool for the people who are out. So I just got that notice. So I'm gonna get back in another survivor pool. So I was just right before we started the podcast, I was listening to Lying Cunt Face's speech on the border. I am going to secure the border, and it is my main prerogative in life is to make sure no criminals come through the border, as they let 15 million through. And 6 months before the election, they signed an executive order to close the border, which they could have done 3 years ago. They must think people are stupid. People are fucking not stupid. Like going out there and pretending to do something and be something that they have a million videos that you're against just makes you look like more of a hypocritical liar. So, I listened to this speech because I'm very transparent. I listen to both sides. And I almost vomited. This was literally like, I've never heard more bullshit in my life. And then listening to her word salad in her MSNBC speech. We're going to create a holistic economy. How are you going to do that? Well, the economy is going to be for people that dream and want to be with us. And that's going to be our economy of holistic economy, and holistically the economy will be for us. Sorry, I can't help myself. I think my Kamala interpretation is pretty spot on. I don't know where to begin. So, I don't really want to talk politics early in the show. We'll talk later, but like it was released today that the Biden-Harris administration released 633,000 people into the U.S., 13,000 murderers, 15,000 rapists, 138,000 with criminal records, whatever the fuck it was. Just you could look it up. I retweeted it on my Twitter, but like this is the ICE agency released this, so it's not no right wing talking point. Anyways, so. The election's a month away. There's plenty of divisiveness going on. We have plenty of time to hack over politics. I am here to secure the border so American lives will be protected. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. All right. So, poker. We're a week later, and we're 23,000 winner again for the week with Friday, Saturday. Well, no Saturday, but Friday and Sunday to go. So hopefully I will be able to have a good week and come to you next week and tell you that I finally had a good winning week. So I'm pretty happy. Yeah, Trump's showing cognitive decline. What's her name's 59 years old and can't put two sentences together. She's the worst candidate of all time. You like Kamala? We like Kamala. Everybody like Kamala now. Media. We like Kamala now. Everybody like Kamala now. Okay, sheep. We like Kamala now. She was the most unpopular vice president in history. She was polling at 22% till the media pulled her out of the garbage can. Oh, it's so funny. Anyways, the thing is you guys don't understand. I am not a Trump supporter. I am a fucking anti-fucking whatever they are on the other side supporter. I can't even know what to call them. They're just crazy. Anyways, yeah. So, going to NFL this week. Okay, here we go. This has been a lot of work this week of trying to pick my pick of the week. Now, originally, my pick of the week was going to be the Packers -2.5 over the Vikings. This is the game the Packers must win. If they lose this game, they're 2.5 behind Minnesota. Love could have come back last week. He didn't. Somehow the Packers won 2 straight with a backup quarterback. And the Vikings, this is a really, really, really incredible stat. So the Vikings had won back-to-back games as home dogs. When a team wins, every team that's won back-to-back games as home dogs and then went back out on the road is 29% versus a spread over the last 10 years. It's a pretty big stat. So that's why I was going to go with the Packers. But I then woke up and had a dream. I had a dream, the Ravens last week, that Pittsburgh got the shit kicked out of them this week. So I might have to put my Colts in there. Now, this is a really incredible stat with this Colts Pittsburgh game. So, of teams, listen to this stat, of teams that start off 3 road games in their first 4, and they win their first 2 road games, in their 3rd road game, they are 8-29 straight up. There you go. So, I'm leaning the Colts. And then the other 3rd one is the Jags +6. Now, I've already bet this, and I've already bet the Packers. I have not bet the Colts yet. Listen to this, you guys, on the Jags. So, yes, the Jags looked like a horror show against the Bills last week. And what do I always tell you guys about the NFL, about recency bias? You have to throw out what you saw the week before and apply it to this week, okay? So, the last week, everybody bet the Jags from 6.5, and it went off from 6 and it went down to 4. And the Bills were 4 at game time, right? Well, now, a week later, they're telling you the Jags are, that Houston is -6 versus the Jags. Well, you're trying to tell me that Houston is 2 points better than Buffalo? Buffalo is, if they were on a neutral field, or if Buffalo was at home, they'd be a 4.5, 5-point favorite over Houston. So how is Houston 6 over the Jags? So this is kind of a go against what you saw Monday night play and understand the line. They're telling you, the line is telling you, because what you saw last week, that Houston is 2 points better than Buffalo? Come on. So that's why we have the Jags. So those are the 3 that I am leaning in putting in my top 3, and I'll tell you which one I'm going to go with as my number 1 pick. Now there's also the Jets, laying 7.5. Now, as you know, these big favorites have been dying on the cross all year. But if you guys remember, 2 years ago, when Hackett got fired from Denver, and who's the coach of Denver again? Was it Sean Payton? Called the job Hackett did the worst job in the history, right? And then they went into Denver last year and they beat them, right, without Rodgers. And Rodgers really stuck up for his coach. Well, if you don't think they're still don't forget what they said about Hackett, and now Rodgers is at the helm, Rodgers is going to want to put a 40 ball on him. And Denver, coming off their first win last week, wouldn't shock me if they do it. So, but I don't like laying big favorites in the NFL. And then there is the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are healthy minus their skill positions. So, A.J. Brown is out. What's his name? Fucking their other receiver is out. But all the rest of their team is healthy. Okay, so their two receivers are out, which is massive, and all the rest of them are healthy. Where in the Eagles, remember, the Eagles got beat by like 50 in the playoffs to them last year in Tampa, right? And they basically gave up. So it's kind of Devontae Smith, yeah. It's kind of a revenge game. Like, if you don't think they've had this game circled since they ended their season and the way they ended their season, then I think you're kind of crazy. So I believe they had this game circled. I think even without Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, if Vita Baker, is that his name? The Vita Baker, the defensive guy, that run stopper for Tampa, he's questionable. Actually, he practiced this week, but they don't know if he's going to go. And if he doesn't go, Barkley should have a field day up the middle, and I kind of like the Eagles. So those are they're kind of the five that I've been looking at. I lean a tiny bit to the Ravens. The Bills, off a short week, they've looked unbeatable, but this is a big game. But I really don't know. So I have decided to go with my pick of the week. And again, I cut it down to basically, I probably would have had the Eagles in the top three if, the receiving core wasn't out. And I'm going to play them, by the way. But I'm going to go with, God, it's close. I mean, I originally was going to go with the Jags. Then I was going to go with the Packers. Then I was going to go with the Jags. But that 8-21 record of third road game in 4 games, I'm going to go ahead and take the 1.5 with the Colts as my pick of the week. I'm going to go with the Jags. Now I'm going to go with the Packers minus 2.5 as my second best, and the Jags plus 6 as my third best. So those are the 3 I'm going with. The only one I bet so far is the Packers, because I knew the line was going to go to 3, which it has in a lot of places. You could still get some 2.5s. You said you like the Lions, Browns, and Washington. I hate Washington this week. I like Arizona, but I was leaning towards them. Short week, big road win for Washington. Only the 4th team in history to go back-to-back games without a punt. And yeah, they look great what they did to the Bengals, but the Bengals defense is fucking dog shit. I do kind of like the Browns a little, but I can't bet on. Well, I can't even think about Watson. He's just looked so bad, and they're still missing their 2 offensive linemen. I bet 1 game under for 1,000 on a total. The Saints have not allowed over 20 points in any game in their last 5. And Atlanta lost 2 offensive linemen last game. And so they're going to struggle to score. And I bet under 42 in that game for 1,000. That was somebody I listened to who gave me that pick. I don't really know much. That's just what he told me. So that's it, man. So we're going to go with the Colts as our number 1 pick. Packers as our number 2 pick. And the Jags as our number 3 pick. Those are the only 3 I'll be betting. I only bet my top 3 picks. And that's been good. So like we're actually ahead for the year, even though I'm 1 and 2 on my pick of the week. So it's early, and hopefully we'll turn this around. The Rams are pretty decimated by injuries. I kind of lean Chicago, but I can't bet on their offense. Looks terrible, and their offensive line is terrible. So yeah, those are the 3 I'm going with, you guys. So anyways, yeah, hopefully we'll have a good week in poker, and going to a charity poker event tomorrow, dinner, and let's see what else is going on. I think we covered pretty much everything. Let's see if I'm forgetting something. Well, let's take some phone calls and see what people want to talk about, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live.
702-329-0480. Give us a call. Talk about poker. Talk about football. Talk about college football. Talk about politics. Whatever you guys want. I'm not sure what is the big college game this year. Hold on, this weekend. Let's see. What is the big? I was watching Miami. It was 14-14. I'm not a big college football guy. It was 24-17 Virginia Tech at halftime. Wow. I just know that the quarterback for the UNLV Rebels left the program because they didn't give him $100,000, and like 18 million people offered to give him $100,000, but that's against NCAA rules. So nobody could give it to him. It's pretty funny. And UNLV was ranked. They were, for the first time in my lifetime, to be honest with you. And they had beaten 2 top 20 programs, 2 Power 5 programs. And now they're going to go into the dustbin of history over $97,000 or $88,000, something like that. Oh, yeah, Georgia, Bama. I like Georgia. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hello.
What's up, bud?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Yeah, nice. I haven't been able to talk football with the great NFL mind like yours.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, wonderful. I'm an idiot. I'm not bad though. I mean, it's been a rough start for like I don't know, man. It's like every single dog that I have, it's crazy. Like all the big dogs are winning, and all the small favorites are winning. And I'm on these small dogs of like 3, 3.5, 4, and all the favorites are winning. You know what I'm saying? And if you're on the big dogs, it's ridiculous that there's never been this many big 7-point 5.5 points or bigger dogs win outright in 3 weeks in the history of the NFL. So Pretty crazy.
I was in the DraftKings Survivor pool, and I normally will last. I've gone to week 17. I mean, Kirk Cousins against the Giants, I think it was like 2015, just had to win this Sunday night game.
Yeah.
And I would have won a Survivor pool, but he blew it. And that's why I always hate Kirk Cousins. But I was out week 2 this year.
Yeah.
I had Baltimore Raiders, and I would have been out last week. I would have had Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I completely avoided the Raiders and the Baltimore the week before, and I even this week, even last week, I avoided. I told everybody like, don't take Cleveland, don't take the Raiders, don't take. And I go stick with the chalk in Cincinnati this week. Now,
can I say something real quick about Watson in Cleveland?
Yeah,
that guy looks like he needs a massage.
Dude, that's true, dude. That guy, that's, a lot of people I know like the Browns this week, but
I love him. I put that in. I typed that to you, dude. Those are my 3 picks.
That line was +2, and I think it's down to like, let me see, what is it now? Like,
Crosby's out. I mean, what is Vegas without Crosby?
They're nothing. Right, but then again, dude, Cleveland's offensive line is a disaster, and
well, dude, that frees up 3 people when Crosby's not in.
Yeah. Oh, they've moved this line from the Raiders 2 to the Browns 2. Wow, that's a 4-point line move. Interesting.
Oh, because of Crosby, yeah.
Well, Crosby's only worth 1 point, 1.5. He ain't worth no 4 points.
But he's on a normal team, he's only worth that much.
Wow.
But, I mean, I think he's worth more than Devontae Adams. He's definitely worth more than Minshew.
Yeah. Who's starting quarterback? Minshew or the other guy?
Yeah, it's going to be Minshew. I was listening to NFL radio and Sirius all day.
I'll tell you, if Vidi, what's his name? What's the Vidi V or Vidi Baker? Who's the defensive guy for Tampa? If he don't play, this Eagles might be the play, man. Even without.
Dude, did you watch the game last week of the Eagles with the first half when he ran the ball with 11 seconds left on 4th down?
Which one?
And then the Eagles Atlanta, like the head coach.
You mean because he didn't run the ball because he passed the ball? You mean?
No, on the end of the first half.
Oh,
we had the ball. Yeah, Philly had the ball at like the 27. It wasn't even like the 50. It wasn't like the 10-yard line or anything. It might even been like the 37.
Well, that's what the Detroit coach did.
He ran the ball 4th and 1.
Yeah,
and he got stuffed.
4th and 4 on the first drive. They gave up that left 3 points.
No, that time too. But then the end of the first half.
Yeah, I didn't see the end of the first half. I just know the end of the first half. I lost 5 survivor picks on Detroit because the coach put 12 men on the field and it's a 10-second runoff and they lost the field goal before the half. So then all those, instead of being down like 2, they were down 5. So they had to go for it on 3 straight possessions instead of kick field goals, which they would have won the game easily over Tampa. See, that's why I loved Denver last week. I don't think Tampa's that good, and this is the revenge game of all revenge games. They really want this game, and yes, they're missing their 2 skilled players in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, but all 11 linemen, all defensive linemen, all of them are starting. So there's no other injuries. I'm telling you right now.
If Denver can pressure Baker, then I'm sure the Eagles can.
Dude, I like the Eagles a lot, but
it's just the way Hurts is making decisions and the head coach is making decisions.
Yeah.
I would just suggest you look elsewhere for your money.
Well, I did.
Somebody else's money, it's worth betting.
I agree.
If you're on a free roll.
That's why in my pick'em contest I put the Eagles, but I'm not betting them. I feel pretty good. The Colts are now getting 2.5, huh? Wow.
Because of that Pittsburgh defense against a struggling quarterback.
I get it.
It's not going to...
I agree. But see, everybody wants to talk about how great Pittsburgh has been.
But he's so... But the Colts are the most overrated... I was telling my buddy this before the season. I was like, why is everybody riding the Colts? This team has literally done
terrible.
Nothing.
They're terrible.
And Richardson was talked about like he was... Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M before the year.
Listen, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll get. I won't make the Colts my pick of the week. I mean, that 8-29 fucking record on third road games after winning the first two is just so big to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tomlin is going to get his win. I mean, I hate to say it, but the dude's impossible to argue.
But the thing is Pittsburgh. Everybody wants to say. I'm listening to these talk shows. You just go opposite of the talking heads, right? And they're like talking about how Pittsburgh's 3-0. Who have they beat? Okay, they beat Kirk Cousins his first game as a Falcon, so you knew their offense would struggle.
I agree. They beat top 5 draft picks.
Then they beat a fucking Denver team where the guy is in the second start, right? And then they beat a Charger team that didn't have a quarterback, a running back, a fucking receiver to throw to last week. The quarterback shouldn't even have played. He was injured.
I'm still not sold on Atlanta.
I'm not either.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, obviously I told you why I hate Kirk Cousins. But
maybe the more you talk about it, maybe I'll switch the Colts off of my top 2 pick and just go. Dude,
don't put that on me, Mikey.
But what you've been saying, right? I don't think much of the Colts. They were 0-2, and they should be 0. Dude, Chicago gave away the game last week.
And you got to figure Pittsburgh's going to eliminate Jonathan Taylor, and that is who the Colts like. When that dude can take over a game, but I don't think he can take over a game against Pittsburgh.
And also the Pittsburgh the Colt defensive guy, their best run stopper, he got knocked out 2 weeks ago.
And they gave up 200 yards on week 1 of Mixon, and then 200 yards the next week.
No, I get it.
Else.
I get it. Trust me.
But Jalen Warren's out. I know that. And Najee Harris was banged up.
Yeah. So,
but I don't think that's a big deal.
It's just an interesting game, originally.
What about the Lions, bro? They're so underrated and they're playing such good ball. I don't know why the Lions are not reflecting that. In Seattle, the team.
It's 3.5.
Bubblegum pop.
Seattle. I was leaning on. I like the Lions, and I'm like, how is this team only 3.5 over Seattle? Let's analyze Seattle's 3 wins. Game 1, they won by 6 as a 6.5-point favorite over Denver.
Denver money line that game.
Okay.
Week 1 against Denver.
In week 2, the Patriots had to get a 40-yard field goal blocked, or the Patriots beat them, right? In week 3, they had 1st and goal to 2 Miami with a third-string quarterback, which would have made it 17-10 with 7 minutes to go.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
So, who is Seattle? Who have they beat? They beat a third-string quarterback.
They're living off legacy.
Exactly. I like the Lions,
and it is waiting. We've been waiting for this moment, and it's going to be so hard not to buy.
And this is also, by the way, this is also a revenge game for the Lions. Seattle beat them last year.
And you know what we should do?
Do you remember 44-42?
2.5? We should buy it up to 6.5.
Just remember, this is a revenge game. Remember the game 44-42 last year, early in the year. I think the Lions are going to kill them. I mean,
I do, and the Lions need this. They need the game. They're getting no respect.
Well, here,
that matters to them.
Listen to how bad. Listen to how bad they need this game. Right, they're 2-1. Okay, if Green Bay wins, they're 3-1. Minnesota's 3-1, and Detroit needs to win to be 3-1. Okay, if Minnesota beats Green Bay, it's 4-0. Then they still need to win to be only a game back. I mean,
it's irrelevant because it's Detroit, and the only problem with Detroit is Goff. And I know everyone loves Goff. I was just talking with somebody about this today. I was like, I get it. I don't see any greatness, but I see better in Geno Smith. I see a lot better in Geno Smith.
And the Lions are playing better. The Lions should have never lost that game to Tampa Bay. It's a revenge. This is a revenge game. This is a revenge game here.
I mean, I feel like that might be the lock of the century.
But here's the thing that scares me, right? This game opened 6 and got bet to 3.5. Why? Who's out?
For Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were 6. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone just thinks the 12th man. It's just But yeah, that's a big movement.
That's
I
a
didn't
big
even know about
move,
that.
you know, and so that's why I didn't look at the game. See, first thing I do is I look at these line moves. Like originally, I liked the Lions, right? And so when I saw this move, I'm like, well, somebody's out, so I'll just.
But that
pass.
means we're on the side of Vegas. Like I don't mind that.
But those line moves are sharps that are moving it. Those aren't the squares that are moving it. You see what I'm saying?
Dude, if somebody, like, if it's, like, show me a computer that made the decision, you might convince me. If you're talking to another human,
Yeah.
like, that supposedly knows more than me, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, unless this guy's sitting at the practice and knows, like, what play they're running versus, like, maybe that's happening. But I don't know if it goes. We need a TV show about lines makers. Me and you need to write that together.
Yeah, no shit. This
That would be the best HBO show ever.
You know, I've been. The thing is I've been going back and forth. Like originally, my pick of the week was going to be the Packers, right? Then
You scared me with this lines now, with telling me that information.
Yeah,
That's how jaded I am, too.
And then the Packers were going to be my pick of the week. And then, like, a couple of sharp people I know, they like the Jags. I originally liked the Jags suck, but the line ain't right. The fucking Houston is not 2 points better than the Bills. And if let's just say, because you can't look at what you saw last week, you know, when they were down 30, whatever they were to start the game. The Jags are all in on this game. Yeah, they've lost 8 in a row and they're dog shit, but and Houston's coming off a big loss, but everybody's like putting Houston in this like category of Kansas City's and Baltimore's and Detroit's and San Francisco's. Houston is a second-tier team. I mean, you got a second-year quarterback.
Yeah, they got no defense.
Yeah, it's just if you're gonna ever like, this is a really good spot for the Jags getting 6.
Can I ask you a question, Mike?
Yeah.
Which bets have you missed out on this year because of your like line theory adjustment, which I do as well? Like I should have bet Kansas City versus Atlanta big.
I mean,
and the line just freaked me out too much. I was like, dude, this is if the Atlanta loses to the Eagles, this would have been like an 8-point spread, but because miraculous, and I don't know, and I get in my head and I start thinking. Like,
well, the thing is I don't like Atlanta in this game at all. They lost 2 offensive linemen in the second half.
I think they're dropping linebackers too. I think
in the second half of last game, I told you the Saints have a monster defense. They haven't allowed 20 points in any of the last 5. This line opened 4 is down to 3, 2.5 in sub spots. So that's because of the injuries. So like I would never take the Falcons in this game. It's the Saints or nothing.
Yeah, Falcons are so unimpressive.
Yeah, you know what? I really not because of what you said. I've been going back and forth. Like I really liked Green Bay this week. I mean, but I went against Green Bay the last 2 weeks.
If you go Colts in like a big pool right now, you're kind of falling for the propaganda. Like you're better than that.
Yeah,
come on. Just lose on a good pick.
Well, no team. Only teams that won their first 2 games on the road and are playing their third road game in 4 weeks are 8-29 against or straight up. So like,
that was impressive. But you got to remember, I mean, are you taking that same stat from like week 12 to like 16? It's tough to, a lot different than
because
week
it's
1 through 4.
Because it's tough to win fucking 3. It's tough to win 3 games on the road in the whole season, let alone 3 out of the first 3 of the season.
But if you're going to be on the road for 3 games, you would want to do it the first 3 of the year.
Yeah, maybe. You know,
everything's fresh at that point.
You know, listen, I'm jumping on 2 teams that are shitty, like the Jags. I'm taking 6, a team that's been terrible.
Oh, that Jags-Bills game was the better. That was the better. I know how bad the Jags are.
I know how bad they are too, but this is like
they were only thrown because the Chargers like blew their lid and they had like a 45 yards and they pulled like an old Cincinnati Bengal trick against the Steelers. Remember like 3 years ago when Bosa took his helmet off and and then they somehow won that game, and then everyone's talking about their playoff victory.
Here's what the thing about you got to talk about the Jags, right? They've lost 8 in a row. They've looked terrible. I think the coach is fired if they lose this game. And
absolutely,
he's by the way, he's the favorite to be fired now at minus $1.35.
And they need to take the heat off Lawrence. You know, like if they fire the coach, It buys Lawrence
Yeah.
some time
So
to get his shit together.
I kind of that's why, dude. Everything points to the Jags this week, and
I don't think so.
You know, I've been on the Vikings.
I think they're George Costanza.
I've been on the Vikings 2 weeks in a row, and I think the Packers are that good, especially what I witnessed, what they did with Malik Willis. And I think that the Vikings, with 2 big home wins, I think they lose this game. I really do.
Yeah, dome teams never do good in Lambeau either.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, those are the 3 I'm leaning. You know, I put out the Colts as my pick of the week.
Dude, Detroit's going to be easy, bro. But you're trying to mess me up with that line droppage. But I look at it like I'm on the same side as Vegas.
Yeah.
And now, if
I mean,
put a gun to my head,
I got to look up the injuries on the game. When I saw the line move, I didn't even study the game. I just said, "Oh, there's something wrong here. Something's not right here." And I'm like,
"Yeah, that's why I love you, Mike. You're the best." I love that kind of attitude.
I know that Arizona is a revenge game for Kingsbury, but winning back-to-back road games, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Washington might be that good. That kid,
they definitely
that throw. Well, you got dude, Cincinnati's defense sucks. I've been saying it since week 1 that from last year the Cincinnati defense was abysmal, right? I
think Washington opens up the playbook though. I don't think they knew how good that dude was.
Dude, that throw on 3rd and 7 on a cover 0 was one of the best throws I've ever seen. I mean, he had literally like 2 seconds to throw that.
It was unbelievable.
And how do you throw it when you have like the second he dropped back, he knew he was going to get hit, and he
was getting lit. Yeah,
he
somebody
threw
had
it the second he dropped back, he released that ball in like 2 seconds, and he has to throw it the only place he could catch it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
You know, if he don't catch that ball, they lose that game, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, Cincinnati scored on every possession.
That's why I think they're going to open up the play. I think we're about to see, like, what do they say, the sleeping giant, they awoke?
I know Washington. But listen, Washington's offenses they gave up 3 touchdowns to the Giants. Washington's defense.
And Arizona does look good. I hate to say that, just because I just hate that team.
But this is another thing. This total also is 51, and everybody's going, "Oh, the Commanders' defense sucks. The Cardinals' offense has been great. Washington offense has been great." And this total, and I think the under is the play in this game too, by the way, because that's a high total.
Unders have been playing every game. I definitely had it last night.
It's ridiculous. Every game goes under, dude. Yeah, but even last night's game, like I had a friend who had big money on the under, right? And he's like, "Oh, happy he won." I'm like, "You didn't have the right side. The Giants never punted. It went under by 9 points."
You know how there's like the dead ball era? We're in like the weird field goal kicking era. Like, like teams are playing for 3 now,
Well, it's like, they've discovered this new defense, right? That has the quarterbacks don't know what to do. Okay? And the Minnesota Vikings are the king of it. They are the greatest disguiser of man defense or zone defense that is shown looks like man, and that's how they won big last week, is especially against like a young quarterback like the Houston quarterback. But this they have this they see what if you remember, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when the quarterbacks were just lighting it up, dude, you knew that this was unsustainable. And everybody's saying, well, the defenses have no chance. They have no chance. Well, now all of a sudden the defensive coordinators, because they study film, they work hard, they figured out how to cut down how to disguise coverages better, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. But all right, let me take another call, man. I appreciate the input.
Thank you so much, bro.
You got it. Later.
I'll talk to you next time, hopefully.
Yep. Yeah, he made a lot of good points. Indy is 1-2. They should be 0-3. I mean, but I know the Pittsburgh defense is really good, but I don't know, man. It's tough to win 3 road games in 4 games, and they got a tough game on deck. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna change it. I mean, these are the 3 I've been looking at all week, and hopefully we go at least 2-1. I don't want to go 1-3 on my pick of the week. I did like Detroit a lot when I saw the line, but then I saw what it opened, and it's kind of scared me off because I think Seattle stinks. I think Detroit's going to win by a lot, But when I see a line move like that, I mean, I'm going to have to look up what the injuries are because there has to be for that line to go down to 3.5. Doesn't even make sense to me. That means they're saying that Detroit's only 1.5 better on a neutral field. Like, are they fucking crazy? I don't believe it. Anyways, 702-329-0480. Give us a call and tell me what you want to talk about. And I wish I had some hands I could tell you guys this week. I really didn't have many. I got in the game. I won a real big pot and a big double up, and I was like $16K winner, and I won like 10. And there you go. Lions center's out. That makes sense. There you go. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. That's very big. Very big for the run game. Very big for the backup has to be a rookie. Has to be, or they wouldn't. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I mean, the thing about these NFL games, it's all injury. Everything's about injuries, right? And those are what moves the line moves. But all the lines move on offensive line injuries, defensive line injuries. They don't move that much on skill position players. The Rams are missing Higbee, Pua, and what's his name? All their 3 best, all their receivers, but they're also missing 2 offensive linemen and 2 defensive linemen. So I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing? And so that's why Chicago's favored. And the Rams coming off that incredible win over Frisco last week. I mean, you had to put a gun in my head, I'd take Chicago. But I sure wouldn't take no Rams this week, that's for sure. But the Bears look so bad. And this Bengal line was 4, got moved to 4.5. They're in a must-win situation. I thought last week was a must-win situation. Their season's over if they lose this week. Carolina will come back to earth. They played the perfect game against the Raiders. Anyways, 702-329-0480. Give us a call, and we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. Poker, politics, NFL, NCAA football. Georgia at Bama tomorrow. Should be a great game. That's why Kentucky was the play last week against Georgia, because they had Bama on deck. That makes all the sense why they came so flat. So, yeah. Well, if you guys aren't going to fucking call me, I'm just going to fucking go play poker. But tell me who you like in football this week. And we could talk on any poker questions. Give me a call. 702-329-0480. Yeah, he made a good point about Indy. And I've looked at all those points this week. Trust me. But I also looked at the fact that Pittsburgh's 3-0. Indy's 1-2. Indy has injuries. Richardson sucks. Fields has looked pretty good. I don't know why is this line opened up 1.5. So, I don't know. It's just these small favorites have been winning, and these big favorites have been losing. It's such a weird year. What up? Welcome to Mouthpiece, Mike.
Hello, Mike. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Randy here from Indiana. So, yeah, I thought I'd call a couple things. My pick of the week, I'm taking the Rams 19 over on the 19.5.
Over on the 19.5.
Yeah, it was 19.5. They should be able to score 20 points against the Bears defense, right?
Well, a sharp person I listen to loves the under in this game. So that's all I can tell you. You have to understand, like, you're asking, I mean, the Bears defense, I mean, they've been great all 3 games. I mean, great. Right. I mean, even last week they were great. And the Rams are missing 2 offensive linemen and 2 defensive linemen and all their skill position players. So you're asking for a team with no skill position players and missing 2 offensive linemen to score 20 points. Now, they did last week against the Niners, but the Niners had to completely implode for them to get that tying score. They had only scored 17. They were down 24-17. They were going to kick the field goal to win the game. They missed the field goal. And then they had the broken coverage that Stafford hit them to tie the game. So I'm going to have to go against you on this one. I would never. I don't like it. But
yeah, and then the other thing I would say is, looking at, I live in Indiana. Colts are my team. They're my guys. They are a scary team to bet on.
Yeah. No, believe me.
The quarterback, Richardson.
He's been terrible.
Now, this is the guy. If you told me I had to bet, say, Randy, you can either bet on Aaron Rodgers to complete a pass with 2 guys covering his receiver, or Clint Richardson from 35 yards out to hit a billboard. I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
I know, dude. See, that was, I don't know if you were following and listening to this podcast last year. My biggest bet I made last year was the Indianapolis under 7.5 wins. And that was based on Richardson. And he goes out in week 3 and Gardner Minshew takes over and they win 9 games.
Yeah.
And so everything what I bet against last year is now coming true this year, But I don't know. This is dude, the 3rd road game in 4 weeks is really tough, man. I mean, this is a big, I don't know. I don't think Pittsburgh's that good. I mean, they can't.
Here's another thing.
They don't score.
About the Colts, they got, their main piece on the line is a guy named DeForest Buckner.
Yeah,
he's out.
That's what scares me because he's the run stopper, right? And Houston ran crazy on him in week 1. The team that beat him in week 2 ran crazy on him. The Bears did not really. I don't understand the coach of the Bears. Like, he had his fucking rookie quarterback throwing the ball 37 times against a team that has a terrible run defense. Now, the running back, Najee is hurt. The other running back's hurt, also dealing with some injuries. But it's all about the offensive line anyways. So I don't know, dude. This is a game that it's just, I don't know. It's my gut. I'm playing with my gut.
Yeah, I can't bet on the Colts because if I bet on them to lose, I don't enjoy the game. If I just leave them alone because they're my team, right?
Yeah. Well,
I can enjoy it a lot more if I don't mess with them. But I think they're a scary team to bet on to beat anybody right now.
I agree with you. But I'm going with my gut. I like the Jags and I like the Packers just as much. These are the games that I've just been circling, and I'm going round and round and round. I'm like the Bengals were 4. And I liked them at 4. It moved to 4.5. I'm never laying 4.5 with that defense. I can't lay 2.5. It's not. Oh, it's gone to 3 now. It was 2. It's been 2.5 all week. The Bears, because the Rams are just so beat by injuries. And that's why I told you I don't like your total there over. I really lean the Jets a lot because of that Hackett situation 2 years ago, and Rodgers wants this game really bad. And so, and then the Eagles, this is the revenge game for the Eagles. I mean, Tampa Bay didn't beat them in the playoffs last year. They fucking destroyed them. They beat them they gave up. It was like 44-7 or something like that. So this is a big revenge game. Like, yeah, they're missing Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. But I'm telling you, if that run stopper for the Tampa don't play, I mean, that might be the play, really. I mean, I don't know, man. It's and then you have another, you have another revenge game, the Kingsbury versus the Cardinals, But are the Commanders that good to win back-to-back road games? You know what I mean? It's a weird week, man. I don't know. I've been struggling. Let's see. I'm 3 games under. We picked 10, and my pick 10. I'm 3 under 500, so what's that? 14 and 16 or 15 for whatever. I've got like I had 9 wins. I got 14 wins of 30. I'm 14 and 16 in my pick 10.
14, 16.
And
the best is yet to come.
And I'm in the circa. I'm 1, 2, 3. Not very good. 6 and 15. 6 and 9. So I mean, I've got to turn this around. I got to get like a couple 5-0 weeks, But we'll see what happens.
Well, easy enough. And of course, the best bet. It happens October the 1st. Don't miss it. It's going to be great. The VP debate. Tim on Tim versus Vance.
Did you see her at her border speech tonight? She must think Americans are this stupid. She must think that people were born yesterday and are just the dumbest people in the world. I mean, maybe they are. Well, I guess we'll find out in November. Maybe they are.
Her head, the way it swivels back and forth, looking at those teleprompters. I mean, the woman cannot make
that interview with MSNBC 2 days ago was she doesn't even, she speaks in broken sentences. Like, I fucking failed English and can speak English better than this woman can.
Oh, gee.
I had like a C- in English. Like, I was terrible in English. And this woman is, people could see right through her. Dude, that's why Trump's that's why he's climbing in the polls. Did you see Nate Silver today? He said every model he has Trump winning big. They know that. So. What do you think he's not? That's why he's not doing a second debate. They're not stupid. They have internal polls, dude. And remember, whatever the polls say, it's way, way more skewed towards Trump. It's another 3 points. Like in 2016, it was 6 points different. Last year, or 2020, it was like 4 points more in favor of Trump in the poll. So I just hope they don't kill him, man. That's all. I'm more worried about that than anything else.
Last week when I called in, I mentioned to you that I think there are signs that Harris may have alcohol-related dementia because she goes in and out of it in phases. And, I heard Trump a couple of days ago, he's talking to somebody, and he goes, Biden, what a mess he is. I'm not sure Harris is much better. And call me crazy. Call Trump crazy. I think there's a case there that she's not all there.
This is what I've heard, and I do a lot of research. I listen to both sides. I'm not just fucking a partisan. Listen to MSNBC like Brandon Wong is, and I listen to both sides. I listen to everything. And what I've heard, and here's another thing: she now becomes the first person running for president since 1982 to turn down going to the Al Smith dinner. Now, the Al Smith dinner was very funny in 2016 with Hillary and Trump, and they raised a lot of money. And he was the only one that turned it down in 1982 was, I think, Mondale, and he lost the election by 1 million votes. So
Yeah.
there's no reason for her to have turned that down. And what I hear is she cannot be in public setting, not on the prompter, because she has tremendous anxiety. And so when you see her like she's out to lunch, they have her on Xanax or Klonopin. And that's why she's slurring the way she does. Now, that makes sense. I mean, that makes the most sense. You know what I'm saying? But
no, there's something there, that's for sure. I mean, it may be a combination of things.
Listen, you could hate Trump all you want. You could say the things he comes out of his mouth is repulsive, which it is half the time. But if you're going to sit there and watch Kamala and tell me that you think she speaks fine and that the things she says is great, then you are absolutely in a cult, or you are absolutely have severe mental issues yourself. Because, I mean, my friend who's voting for Kamala, she hates Trump, and we talk politics all the time. She's on the left, and she won't vote against the Democrats because she's so pro-abortion. Can you imagine running on your whole life is you're voting on because you want to kill babies? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I find it amazing.
It's incredible. And I'm a pro-choice. I'm pro-choice, you know, but I'm not. They're extreme. I mean, there should never be abortion allowed after the 4th month, ever, anywhere, you know. And so, but I'm not. It is what it is. And so I said, watch this interview from MSNBC with Kamala. I go, you won't even believe it. And she watches it, and she says, well, I didn't think it was that bad, Mike, but I do agree with you. Her answers on the economy, she completely missed. She had no idea what she was saying. I go, I know, it's funny, right? She goes, oh, it's pretty sad. And so she's voting for her and said that. So, like I said, unless you're under a rock and watch that interview, there's nobody who can watch that interview and say, oh, that was a great interview. If you do, then you need help. You need severe help. So.
And you know what, Mike? If you had a situation where Mike Matusow is going to spend 3 hours teaching Donald Trump how to play No Limit Hold'em, take another 3 hours and teach Kamala Harris how to play. Which one of those two are going to be the better strategist at the poker table?
It won't even be close. She doesn't. Yeah. Listen, I truly believe that she has no idea what she's talking about or doing or anything. I think she is the weakest candidate. I mean, I don't know. I've only been political since 2016, but people I talk to say that she is the weakest candidate to ever run for president. So I don't know. She just has no intelligence whatsoever. But who knows? Whatever happens, happens, man. You can't harp on it. You know, I have friends that just became political and they're really strong for Harris and really strong for Trump, and I just tell them, I'm like, don't let politics control you, man. It's just their whole meaning for politics is to divide us, you know.
And you know something, Mike, and I'll let you go. Let's get on to the next caller.
Yeah.
I read this article a couple of days ago, and I think it was from Fox. I can't remember if it was for Fox or the New York Post, somebody like that. But they had done a survey, and 5 times as many Democrats as Republicans said they would not have the other party over for dinner. So for every Republicans,
crazy.
You know, what have you, come on over for dinner, even though they vehemently disagree with your politics. Democrats, if you support Trump, they do not knock on their door. You ain't welcome.
Well, you made a good point, and this is why, so I have lots of, you know, like Republicans, like people who are on the right, they'll listen to what the left has to say, and they'll listen to all their points, and the people on the left won't have any. It's their way. No. I'm not listening. You know, and once you get them to listen, okay. In other words, you know, I don't want to bring up any names, but you know, famous poker player was very liberal, very on the left, and very against what Trump stood for. And once he learned that he was been lied to and lied to and lied to and lied to and lied to, and this never happened, this never happened, this never happened, this never happened. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the best.
I believe in capitalism.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so I just believe that, like, that's just what it is. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I just want what's best for the country, just like everybody else does. And I'm sure it's the same with you. And
Good fight, brother.
That's all you could ask. All right, my man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you soon.
Later. 702-329-0480. Take another call if you want. We're on an hour. I'll go play poker. If worst comes to worst. All right, well, the what was I going to tell you guys? The my pick of the week. I mean, he almost is talking me off of Indianapolis. But remember, I've been deciding. I didn't know which way to go. Green Bay, Jags, or Indy. God. Well, we'll keep it the way it is. We'll keep it at Indy 1, Green Bay 2, Jags 3. I'm betting all three of them the same. So hopefully we go 2-1. Anyways, and hopefully we don't have a bad Friday night or Sunday in poker. And I'll come back to you next week and tell you we had a great week this week, and we're doing well next week. So we will see you next Friday. I appreciate it. And we will talk poker, we'll talk football, and we'll talk to you next week on the Mouthpiece. I'll be down at Hustler Casino probably in the next few months. Take care.
The Mouthpiece.